Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for some Tuesday, December the 21st, Chelsea news for you. We've got 5 stories to talk about today, beginning with AC Milan's Theo Hernandez. We've got the last chance for Eden Hazard at Real Madrid, Hakim Ziyech as Barcelona's plan B, Mino Raiola with some comments on Matthias De Ligt, Juventus 22-year-old centre-back, and we've also got to discuss Chelsea's reported interest in Ruben Neves, who we obviously played against Wolves just about 48 hours ago in a game that, well, it doesn't really live long in the memory because we've got another match to play tomorrow night. How Chelsea are going to do it with positive corona tests, I do not know, but we have got Brentford away in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. It's a competition we want to win. We need a win just from somewhere to kind of give us another boost. And that game is reportedly still on at this moment in time, which I find absolutely mind-blowing. But, of course, we can't complain if we get to watch Chelsea again. Then, of course, we're going to watch whether we agree it should be on or shouldn't be on whatsoever. You can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below if you wish. Story number 1 today, we are going to discuss AC Milan left-back Theo Hernandez. 14 goals, 13 assists across this period of the last 3 seasons, if I can almost get my words right. Still recovering from dengue fever. It's taking a little bit of time. Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel reportedly want a galactic signing this January, reported and asked personally, apparently, by Thomas Tuchel to Roman Abramovich. Now, Theo Hernandez would be seen as a big player signing. A player that would come in, be able to challenge Ben Chilwell with the things that are looking like at the moment. It could be good news regarding Ben Chilwell. He's back on the grass, he's running. It looks as though he will be back in the middle of January as initially reported as a best case scenario. Thomas Tuchel, Chelsea, myself included, which is why I even make these videos in the first place to give my views. I don't think Marcos Alonso is a good enough backup consistently to be playing to replace Ben Chilwell. Theo Hernandez from AC Milan is a very, very decent player. He's got very good goal and assist output in terms of an attacking sense. He would be a very decent backup in the way that we like to play, with kind of the fullbacks or wingbacks being used almost as inverted forwards at times that we've seen in recent weeks, particularly before Ben Chilwell's injury. I think Theo Hernandez would be a fantastic signing from AC Milan. It is being reported at the moment still that Lucas Digne looks set to leave Everton, whether that is on loan or to be sold in January. And at the moment, I'm very, very happy to see that Chelsea are linked with both Theo Hernandez and also Lucas Digne. I think they're 2 very, very decent left wing-backs who would not only be an upgrade on Marcos Alonso, but would put some serious pressure on Ben Chilwell, forcing him to keep up that form that we saw before the injury. And I think since the injury, Ben Chilwell can be pretty certain that the moment he's fit and ready to play again, he's straight back into Chelsea's starting 11. Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments below. We move into Eden Hazard. We've spoken quite a lot in recent weeks about Eden Hazard and the fact that Real Madrid are ready to sell him. Carlo Ancelotti has said over the course of the last couple of days that after Eden Hazard played for Real Madrid, I know, it's weird. It seems very bizarre when Eden Hazard actually plays for Real Madrid. I keep forgetting that he is actually still their player, and it's not like he's a Gareth Bale who's just being frozen out for going to play golf all the bloody time. Eden Hazard was probably the best player on the pitch when he was out there. Ancelotti was happy with him, and he says that it will be a big part of the second half of the season for Real Madrid, which for those of us Chelsea fans who have really liked the idea of talking about Eden Hazard returning to Chelsea in January, this isn't good news. I do think that Chelsea in January, if we're going to sign anybody, it won't be a winger this time around. I think it will either be a central midfielder, because that is where we are seriously struggling with injuries, or, like we talked about with Theo Hernandez, to come in to put some serious pressure on Marcos Alonso. That are the 2 predictions? Those are my 2 predictions in terms of players that we could bring in January. I'm still so flipping tired. You guys can probably tell. Having his last chance at Real Madrid, and it looks as though he may have taken it. Now, I know it's only 1 performance in a game that Real Madrid didn't even win against Cadiz in La Liga. It's not the result they would have liked. They'd won, I think, 9 matches in a row prior to this one. but Eden Hazard did put in a very good performance. We move into story number 3 of the day, and it is regarding Barcelona. It's been a couple of weeks since I reported Barcelona being interested in a Chelsea player. However, it doesn't change that they're just, throwing out their plan B, Hakim Ziyech, if they do not successfully sign Ferran Torres from Manchester City in the January window. City are reportedly holding out for just over £40 million, about 50 million euros, and Chelsea could look to potentially cash in if Hakim Ziyech wants to leave the club. There were talks a few weeks ago that Borussia Dortmund were seriously interested, and Barcelona want Hakim Ziyech at Barcelona. Now, my opinion on this is, until the last couple of games, Hakim Ziyech had actually been playing very well. And as much as I'd given him a hard time over the majority of this season, and I think rightly so, considering the output that we've seen from him, he is becoming more influential in the Chelsea team. And I think at the moment, with all of these injuries that we have, with uncertainty regarding certain players being available, with all of the pressure and uncertainty that comes with the new COVID outbreak and how that's going to affect teams in football, with the Premier League looking to play as many matches as they possibly can without delaying anything or postponing things as much as possible, Hakim Ziyech is going to be an important Chelsea player throughout the rest of the season, as I'm sure we will see cases rising. We will see players being testing positive despite being vaccinated or whatever. So I do believe that any player in the top first team squad right now looking to leave Chelsea in January, I would be very, very surprised if it was allowed to happen. Thomas Tuchel will probably block it. Hakim Ziyech as well, coming into a bit of form in recent weeks. I don't expect him to be on the way to Barcelona any time soon. We move into the next story of the day, and it is being reported that Chelsea are interested in bringing Wolverhampton Wanderers central midfielder Ruben Neves to the club in a bid or an idea that would cost around £38 million. Ruben Neves has actually had a very good season. Wolves have started to play some very good football. They've started to become very hard to beat. Ruben Neves, we know that he's a player who can score a worldie from outside the box. He's a very, very good high-energy midfielder, despite not being one of the quickest. Chelsea are interested, and we're talking back up here to Jorginho, Kovacic, N'Golo Kante. The issue with this is Ruben Neves is 28 years old. Chelsea are already looking at 3 midfielders who are getting on. Mateo Kovacic not necessarily getting on, but Jorginho just turned 30. N'Golo Kante is 30. And there have been a lot of links for Chelsea in recent weeks to Aurelien Tchouameni from Monaco. So do I think Chelsea would actually go out and spend 38, 40 odd million pounds on a 28-year-old midfielder? No. I think if Chelsea are going to be investing in a central midfielder, it's either going to be a Tchouameni or a Declan Rice. And I think in January, if there is only one option available in that position, it would only be Tchouameni. Declan Rice is not going to leave West Ham at this stage of the season. Maybe next summer if they fail to get top 4, which is now looking likely after they beat Chelsea. They just absolutely deteriorate in form. But that being said, Chelsea want Ruben Neves. I'm not entirely convinced by this one. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. He played well against us the other day in what was probably one of the most boring games of football you can ever see, with mist covering half of the pitch for the entirety of the match. But we move into the final story of the day. Mino Raiola has been talking again. This guy loves to bloody talk. He's one of those agents who has a lot of high-profile, big-name players. He's one of the biggest football agents in the world. And Matthias De Ligt of Juventus is one of his clients. Matthias De Ligt is reported as one of Chelsea's top targets to come in if we are to lose a Christensen, an Azpilicueta, or a Tony Rudiger, or maybe 2 or all 3 of the 3 players. Matthias De Ligt is 22 years old. He is from the Netherlands. He was at Ajax. He left in 2019. Since he's been at Juve, we know it's not exactly been plain sailing. He's had good spells of form, then he's been out of the team. They've still got Bonucci, Chiellini. These are top quality centre-backs. And Matthias De Ligt may not necessarily be entirely happy with where his career has gone at Juventus, and it is reported that he's ready to take the next step. Chelsea are one of the clubs who have reportedly been offered Matthias De Ligt next summer, and I think that the more I think about this one, the more it could actually work. The longer things go on where Christensen still hasn't signed, Aspi hasn't signed, Rudiger, we don't think he is going to sign, the longer that goes on, the more a player like Matthias De Ligt being linked with Chelsea could actually be something that I would like to see. Let me know with all of these news stories in the comments down below what you think about them. Apologies if my energy has still been a bit off today. Dengue fever, it's a tough one to recover from quickly. I'm super tired all the time right now, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with a Brentford preview. How on earth are we going to field a team here? Come on, you Blues.